Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at something kind of fundamental
Nah.
information.
All right.
I've got some excerpts here from a book that you sent over. And honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. It manages to make even the densest ideas
Right.
fun and engaging.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got history, science, even a little bit of that Douglas Adams kind of humor in there.
Yeah, it's a
good measure.
it's a good approach to this.
Yeah.
You know, because information can be a pretty abstract
Yeah,
concept to get your head around.
absolutely. So to get us started, this book kicks things off with something called information cake.
Information kick.
Now, I know that sounds a little strange,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
bear with me.
All right.
It's a really clever way of thinking about infinity.
It is. And it's a really clever way of thinking about how something as seemingly simple as a slice of cake can really challenge
Oh, wow.
our understanding of the universe.
Okay, I am intrigued. Walk
Yeah.
me through this information cake idea.
Okay, so imagine you have a cake, right? You cut it in half.
Okay.
You cut it in half again,
Huh.
and you keep going and going. You keep dividing it into smaller and smaller pieces.
Right.
Theoretically, you could keep doing this forever,
Okay.
but you'd reach a point where the pieces are so tiny that our current understanding of physics just kind of falls apart.
It's like we hit a wall,
Yeah,
not because the cake is gone, but
Yeah.
because our tools for understanding it just aren't powerful enough.
exactly. And that's kind of what this book argues that happens with information.
Okay.
You can keep dividing it, theoretically, down to these incredibly tiny units.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, we hit a point where our current models just don't cut it.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this information cake idea is so powerful.
Right.
It's not just about cake. It's about the limitations of our understanding of,
Yeah.
well, everything.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We tend to think of information as like a pretty modern concept.
Sure.
It's tied to computers and the internet.
Right, but that's what's really cool about this book.
Okay.
Is that it reframes history through the lens of information.
Okay.
And it makes the case that information has always been a driving force,
Interesting.
long before the digital age.
So are they saying that the invention of the printing press
Oh, yeah.
was just as revolutionary as, say, the creation of the internet?
I mean, in terms of its impact on information flow, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The printing press allowed information to spread much faster and more widely than ever before.
Right.
It democratized knowledge
Right.
in a way that had never been possible.
That's a great point. And that's actually something else that the book talks about.
Yeah.
The parallels between the Industrial Revolution and the Information Revolution
Mhm.
that we're living through right now.
It's a really powerful comparison
Okay.
because both of these revolutions fundamentally changed the way societies function. The Industrial Revolution
Yeah.
shifted us from agrarian societies to industrialized ones.
Right.
New technologies were reshaping social structures and economic power.
So what they're saying is that just like factories and machines transformed the world back then,
Yeah,
the internet and all our digital devices are doing the same thing now.
exactly.
Why?
We're seeing the rise of new industries, new forms of communication, new ways of life.
Right.
And just like the Industrial Revolution had its downsides, right?
Uh.
Think about poor working conditions, social upheaval.
Yeah.
The information revolution is raising similar concerns like
Like-
the digital divide,
Yeah.
data privacy,
Yeah.
the spread of misinformation.
Right. Issues that we're grappling with right now.
Precisely.
Wow.
It's a reminder that with any massive technological shift,
Yeah.
there are always winners and losers, and there are intended consequences and unintended ones.
Mm.
And we really need to be aware of those potential pitfalls as we navigate this new information landscape.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if we're really equipped to handle the pace of change.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet alone feels like it's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It really does feel like it's constantly evolving.
It really is. And the book actually makes a fascinating comparison.
Okay.
It describes the internet and the World Wide Web as a kind of ecosystem,
Sure.
constantly in flux, just like in nature.
So we're talking like digital Darwinism here, like
Yeah.
survival of the fittest websites.
Well, not exactly websites, but more like ideas and technologies. You
Right.
have these bursts of creativity,
Mhm.
like the rise of social media.
Right.
And then you have these extinctions, like platforms that we all used to love
Oh, yeah.
that are now just distant memories.
Like MySpace. I spent way too much time customizing my page back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then something new comes along and takes over, just like in nature.
Right.
The internet is this constant cycle of innovation,
Wow.
adaptation, and, well, sometimes obsolescence.
Yeah, and we're all part of that ecosystem, aren't we?
Yeah.
Every time we click a link or share a post,
Absolutely.
create something new online.
It all feeds into it.
Yep.
And that actually brings us to another fascinating concept from the book.
Okay.
Memes.
Okay, not the like funny cat picture kind of memes, right?
Not exactly, although those are definitely part of it.
Okay.
The book is talking about memes in like a broader sense as
Okay.
units of cultural transmission.
Yep.
It's Richard Dawkins' idea,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically says that ideas can evolve and spread just like genes do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like those catchy phrases and viral trends and challenges that spread like wildfire online,
Yeah,
those are memes in action.
exactly.
Okay.
And they can have a real impact on our culture,
Right.
shaping our beliefs, our behaviors, and even our language.
It's true.
Think about how many words and phrases we use today
Yeah,
that originated online.
that's true. Yeah,
Right.
that's mind-blowing.
So the internet isn't just this platform for sharing information.
Right.
It's also like a giant meme incubator.
Wow, you could say that.
Yeah. And that brings us to a really fascinating question.
Okay.
What happens when this idea of information as like a constantly evolving force
Okay.
meets some of the most fundamental questions about the universe itself?
Okay, now you're really piquing my curiosity. Where are we going with this?
Okay, so the book dives into some pretty heady theoretical physics, specifically something called loop quantum gravity.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. That sounds a bit intimidating.
I know it's a mouthful, but the book actually does a really good job of explaining it
Okay.
in a way that even I, a non-physicist, could grasp.
Right, you've got my attention.
Okay.
Give me the layman's version.
So imagine instead of smooth, continuous space, the universe is actually made up of these tiny interconnected loops,
Okay.
kind of like
Like a cosmic chainmail.
Yeah.
Or maybe those beaded curtains you used to see in doorways.
Those are great analogies. What's really mind-blowing is that this theory suggests that these loops
Yeah.
might actually be units of information.
Hold on. Are we saying that the universe is basically made of bits like a giant computer program?
That's the radical idea.
Wow.
It's called it from bit.
Okay.
This notion that information isn't just something we create and use,
Yeah.
it's the very fabric of reality itself.
Okay, I need a moment to process that.
It's a big one?
If information is that fundamental, does that mean everything in the universe,
Yes.
from galaxies to black holes to us, is just like a different arrangement of these information bits?
It's a wild thought, isn't it? And if it's true, it means that information plays a far more profound role than we ever imagined. It's not just something we use to communicate or store data.
Right.
It's the very essence of existence.
So all our digital innovations, all the data we collect and analyze, it's all built upon something
Yeah.
far grander and more mysterious than we can fully comprehend.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? We think we're so advanced with our technology,
Right.
but we're really just scratching the surface of what information truly is.
It makes you wonder if our attempts to understand information are kind of like trying to understand the universe itself.
Exactly. It's this infinite journey of discovery with new layers of complexity and wonder unfolding at every level.
So where do we go from here? If information is this fundamental force, this building block of reality,
Yeah.
what does that mean for us as individuals and as a society?
That's where things get really interesting.
It really is kind of overwhelming in a way,
Yeah.
but fascinating.
It really does kind of
Yeah.
change how you look at the world, doesn't it?
It does. It makes you appreciate just how interconnected everything is.
Mm.
If we're all essentially made of the same stuff,
Mm.
information,
Yeah.
then the lines between like ourselves and the natural world
Yeah.
and the universe as a whole,
It all.
they start to blur.
Yeah. It all breaks down.
Yeah, it's like that saying, we are all stardust. But instead of stardust, it's information that's the common thread that's connecting everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that brings us back to something we touched on earlier, this idea of information as like a driving force throughout history. I mean, the book has some really fascinating examples
Yeah.
of how information has shaped human civilization,
Yeah.
from like ancient communication systems to the development of writing.
It's true.
Oh, right. It talks about how the invention of writing was this huge leap forward, allowed us to like store and transmit knowledge in ways that were never possible before.
Right. And then you have the printing press,
Yeah.
which further democratized access to information,
Right.
helped fuel the Renaissance and the scientific revolution.
It's amazing to think about how all these innovations,
It is.
driven by this need to share and preserve information,
Yeah,
they've shaped the course of human history.
they really have.
And it's not just about the big inventions, right?
Yeah.
Even something as simple as like a shared story
Sure.
or a piece of gossip can have a profound impact on a community.
Absolutely. Information in all its forms shapes our understanding of the world, our relationships with each other, and ultimately who we are as individuals and as a society.
But, as we've been discussing, information can be a powerful tool, and it can be used for good or for ill.
Of course.
And the book talks about how information has often been used as a weapon through propaganda, censorship, surveillance.
Throughout history, those in power have sought to control information because they recognize its immense influence over people's thoughts and actions.
It makes you realize how important it is to be like critical consumers of information.
Yeah.
To question what we read and hear.
For sure.
And to seek out diverse perspectives.
Especially in today's world where we're just bombarded with information from all sides. It's more crucial than ever to develop those information literacy skills.
Absolutely.
We need to be able to distinguish fact from fiction,
Yeah.
recognize bias, evaluate the credibility of sources.
It's like being a detective sifting through clues and evidence to get to the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And the stakes are high.
Right.
The way we understand information shapes our beliefs, our values, and ultimately our actions.
So, in a sense, we're all responsible for shaping the future of information.
I think so.
The choices we make about what we consume and what we share and how we engage with information will determine the direction of this whole evolution.
And it's not just about our individual choices, right?
Right.
The systems and structures that govern information flow.
Yes.
Like algorithms, social media platforms, government regulations, all play a role in shaping the information landscape.
Right. It's this complex interplay between individual agency and these larger forces that ultimately determine what information we have access to and how we make sense of it all.
And it's a dynamic system. It's constantly in flux.
Right.
What's considered information today might be obsolete tomorrow. New forms of information are constantly emerging.
Which is why we need to stay curious and keep learning and adapt to this ever-changing information environment.
Absolutely. And the book actually even touches upon this idea of adaptability.
Okay.
Suggesting that our ability to learn and evolve with information is crucial to our survival as a species.
I love that. Information is a survival tool.
Yeah.
It's not just about entertainment or staying connected. It's about navigating the complexities of the world around us.
Right.
And making informed decisions.
And recognizing the profound interconnectedness of everything. We're all part of this vast information web.
Right.
From the smallest particles to the largest cosmic structures.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of information, I think what strikes me the most is this sense of awe and wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, we started with a simple slice of information cake.
Right.
And we ended up exploring the very fabric of reality.
It's been quite a journey, and I think it highlights how much we still don't know about information and its role in the universe, but that's what makes it so exciting. There's always more to learn.
Yeah.
More to explore, more to discover.
So, to our listeners out there, I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
I hope so.
And inspired you to think about information in a new way.
Yeah.
The next time you're scrolling through your phone or reading an article, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey that information has taken to reach you and the power it holds to shape our world.
Who knows, maybe you'll even start to see that piece of information cake a little differently.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of information.